Let's try that again. Helps if I unmute. Welcome, fellow mining and crypto community members. Thanks for showing up tonight. Give me a 1 in the chat now if you can hear me. And while I'm waiting for that, I will talk a bit about what we're going to talk about tonight. Kind of some funny, there's the audio. Okay, good. Thanks, CryptoDoc. Bear Jew, I am not your father. Anyway, so a couple things we'll talk about. Some things fun, some things serious, some things very serious tonight. So we'll start out tonight with kind of a fun thing. Anybody read the article about the 4090 Ti and the RX 7000 mining farm spotted, that there were workers named 4090 Ti and workers named RX 7000s? I was like, seriously, why is this even a story? We can name workers whatever we want. Talk about somebody really getting somebody's goat. Somebody thinking that they discovered something when in fact it was just somebody having a little bit of fun. Anyway, I thought that was pretty hilarious. I mean, how many times have you heard somebody who has named their Wi-Fi something silly, like, FBI surveillance fan or something like that? So yeah, that was nothing more than that. So I just thought it was kind of funny when the fact that somebody actually thought that they had scooped. Oh, wow, look at this. Totally crazy. I see a couple comments in here. So anyway, I had to throw that one in there. I saw a couple other YouTubers comment on it. I didn't actually watch their videos to see how seriously they took it, but I suspect they recognized it for what it was. There's no 4090 Ti's out there mining. Why would NVIDIA do that? Why would AMD do that? That makes no sense. Anyway, I thought that was funny. And then a couple other things that have happened this week. So on Friday, a couple of things happened. Actually, that was Thursday when Aero Glacier was deployed. So Aero Glacier was the Ethereum fork that its only feature of that fork was to delay the difficulty bomb until June of next year or thereabouts. It's become apparent that they're not really, either they can't calculate it or they're really not pushing it out all the way to that date. So for instance, when they did 1559, they delayed the difficulty bomb until December. Well, except it was actually, the difficulty bomb went into play actually close to the beginning of November. Now, it wasn't there wasn't doing a lot. It was extending the block times a little bit, basically where nobody was really noticing unless you were paying attention. But by the time they actually rolled out Aero Glacier, the block times had gone from around 13 to 13.2 seconds up to about 13.6 to 13.8 seconds. So that may not sound like a lot, but as a percentage basis, it's like 5%. And that was having an effect on our profitability. Anytime you increase the block times, that means fewer blocks per day. And that means fewer block rewards per day for miners to go around. So anyway, so what I have found since, although there has been a bit of fluctuation, is that my profitability has actually gone up. I was making about 0.028 right before the fork, and now I'm getting closer to 0.03 per day. So yeah, I've definitely seen an increase, which is pretty nice. So at any rate, I thought that was basically covering both of those. I thought that was pretty interesting with the mining rewards actually increasing after Aero Glacier was deployed. Anybody else notice that their profitability went up a little bit? Let's see if there's any questions out there. Oh, if you do have questions, please, please, please tag me in the chat. It'll make things a lot easier for me to find the question. And again, I know somebody else said, Pro Rival, I am not your father. I am not your father. Anyway, should actually get a Darth Vader like voiceover thing on here somewhere. Anyway, I think those are pretty. Oh, you like the RGB on the tree? Yeah, I call it my gamer tree. It's got lots and lots of features on it. Does flashes. It has seizure mode, you know, all kinds of cool things on it. Figured the colored would be a little bit less hard on the eyes in the background than the white. I think it's kind of messing with the camera now and then, but hopefully it's not too distracting. But I think it's quite festive, actually. So at any rate, so let's move on to the other topic before we get to the main topic. And that is that on Friday, there was the Ethereum All-Core Devs call. And the topic that had been brought up 2 weeks prior was that they were going to do a fork before the merge. And that seemed to be the clear direction. And I will, this was very interesting to see how this all played out, because 2 weeks ago, Tim Biko basically was like, this is the direction. We're going to see if we can make this happen. And everybody else was like, you thought everybody was like going to follow suit, because that's normally what happens. In this particular case, there was definitely a vocal, I don't want to say minority, because it was pretty evenly split as to whether or not to do something or not. But there were enough people that were saying, no, this is a bad idea. And there were a couple reasons brought up. The main one was that while layer 2 is where the future is, it's still not as secure as layer 1. That was one of the main arguments brought up. So if they were going to drive more transactions to layer 2, these people were saying that may not necessarily be a good thing before it's ready for prime time. So the decision was made to scrap that idea and basically not have anything get in the way of the merge. It is now full speed ahead for the merge. Damn the torpedoes, keep it going. So they are purely focused on the merge at this point. So will it happen by June? Who knows? I think there's a better than average chance that it will, but could it be delayed until July or August? Yeah, I mean, I'd look at 1559 as a good example. It got delayed a month, 2 months. It got delayed from what was supposed to be June sometime until the very beginning of August. So I wouldn't be surprised if this follows suit as well. The problem with it is that they do actually they would have to push back the difficulty bomb if they were going to do it this time, because otherwise the blockchain would get pretty backed up if they went a full 2 months. Now, it also depends on, did they learn from this last difficulty bomb pushback and actually pushed it out? They say it's June, but it really is June, as opposed to this time where it was more like November when it starts to kick in. So it really kind of depends upon that. So we'll see what happens. It's not difficult for them to push it back. So that could definitely be a possibility to see another pushback, another 2 months or so, just to make sure they get the merge right. Obviously, we all know getting the merge right is so critical in making sure that Ethereum doesn't lose confidence of any of the investors. They have to get this right. They do not have a choice. So they're going to test, and make sure that this is going to go off without a hitch, much in the same way they did with 1559. Even so, with 1559, there was a problem. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was a real one-off case. Didn't affect very many people, but they did have to go back and fix that. So I think in this case, they're going to really try to make sure that they have nothing that goes wrong. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. I don't see any questions there. Looks like you got into a fight and then built a Christmas tree. Not really sure why it looks like I got into a fight, but anyway. Let's see here. Yes, that is a bright tree. It's a beacon of light. All right, well, let's get started on the main topic of tonight, which is, what are we going to do when the merge gets here and what's going to happen? Hopefully you guys have all seen the video that I put out this morning talking about it, but just in summary, when the merge comes, mining is going to be unprofitable. I don't see any way around that right now. And I did these calculations yesterday. Obviously today things will have changed because things are less profitable today than they were yesterday. Same amount of hash rate, but the value of all the crypto is less today. So profitability has gone down. So the situation today, if we were to evaluate it based on today, would be worse than it was yesterday. So obviously the price of crypto has a lot to do with that calculation, but the main crux of my argument is, so back when Seb did the original video with the spreadsheet, Ethereum it had a net market share of 91.5% of all hash rate. And again, we're doing an equalization when we're doing this calculation. And we're also not including any of the other ETH hash coins, because that's where all the ASICs are going to go. If they go anywhere, they're going to go to the other ETH hash coins. So we weren't including any of those. We're only looking at non-ETH hash. We are including Ethereum Classic. I know that there are some ASICs that may be able to be reprogrammed to run on Ethereum Classic as well. So there's that as well. But 91.5% was the calculation that Seb made back when he originally did the spreadsheet. Fast forward to yesterday, and we were at 912 terahash, up from 685 terahash on Ethereum. That's a huge increase in a short period of time. So at 912 terahash, we've now moved up to 94% market share for the amount of total hash rate. Ethereum miners own 94% of that total hash rate. So at 94%, I mean, think about that. When you have all of this hash rate that has to find a home, it's going to increase the difficulty greater than a factor of 10. If all of that 94% had to find another home, it was over 16 times the difficulty would go up 16 times, over 16 times. So when we start looking at some other calculations where, okay, how much hash rate is going to go away, either through ASICs or just natural selection where people just realize, okay, I'm done. I'm turning mine off because their cost of power is too high. I think that's really the people that are going to get weeded out first, are the people that do have a high cost of power. So there's going to be a lot of things that come into play. But bottom line is, this is not going to happen overnight. There are going to be some people that are going to be like, I'm just going to keep on mining. I don't care if it's a loss. I've heard people state that. And as well as I do, we enjoy mining. It's going to be tough to turn those things off when they're not a profit, because we enjoy the tinkering. We enjoy managing them. What am I going to do with my extra time if I'm not looking at my mining rigs and making sure, okay, wake up every morning, pull up the webpage for Ethermine. Are all 8 of my workers up? Yep, they're all working. Awesome. Great. I mean, look at my helium miner. Well, I'll still be able to look at that at least. Look at my helium miner, see how it's doing. Look at Raptorium to see how, that's doing. Obviously I'll still be able to do that, but yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But the biggest thing is, be prepared. Know what you're planning on doing when this brick wall comes. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be some amazing increase in the market that, and hash rate won't follow it. See, that's the other key, is right now we have a continual growth of hash rate because we are so profitable right now. And as we continue to increase, this is only going to make for a harder fall. Think about the housing boom and the crash that we had in 2008. A lot of that occurred because we had such a long and great increase in home ownership and value of homes and all of that. And all of a sudden, the bull market for real estate could not keep it going. And finally we had a crash. So it's like the longer the bull run, the bigger the crash. And that's kind of where we're at with mining. I think we've never seen a mining be profitable, let alone this profitable, for so long. Now it's a new market. I get that, but you know, the natural evolution of mining is that it will be at a moderate profit. The economics of it are, if it's profitable, people will get into it. But right now, people are getting into it. They're only getting into it at a slow rate because they can't get hardware. That's one of the things that has really kept this bull market up. But as soon as you have some other factor like the merge, it'll come crashing down. So what are your guys' thoughts? Let's see. Oh, the hair. Didn't think it looked that bad. Was at my wife's chemo all day today. So let's see. Any questions? Figured I'd have a bunch of questions in here. Yeah, so Galo says, Gallo, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Selling your old 580s in Q1. Honestly, I'm thinking about doing the same. I only have 2 of them, but I'm also thinking about doing the same. It's yeah, I'm at a point right now where I am not going to expand the number of cards. Not saying that I'm still not looking for cards, but I will be doing replacement as opposed to additional hash rate. So that's my plan at this point. We're getting to the point where you're cutting it a little, in my mind, you're cutting it a little bit too close. And this is my business plan. This isn't necessarily everybody's, but cutting it a little too close to being able to break even on cards that are bought now. So there's that. Now, of course, if you can just get cards and flip them and scalp them, I mean, I have a little bit different view of scalping. I think it's kind of it's capitalism. It is what it is. And unless you outlaw it, people are going to do it. So it's not breaking the law. It is what it is. I don't scalp personally, but just saying. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, that ETH difficulty is no joke. That is for sure. Interesting. So Gallo, you're keeping the 30 series on Flux and ETH, dual mining it, I suppose. Or maybe not dual mining it now that I think about it. I'm not even sure if T-Rex can dual mine Flux. I know that it can do Firo. I know that it can do Ravencoin. I know that it can do Ergo, but I don't know if they've ever done it for Flux yet. That would be interesting, actually, if they did it for Flux. Yeah, I haven't gotten on the Flux train myself, but right now I would say that is the only coin that looks interesting because of its payouts and, you know, its parallel assets and all that kind of stuff that actually could make it more profitable than ETH. But straight on, you know, what to mine, ETH is still more profitable than Flux currently. So anyway, so actually, isn't Ethereum a fork of Ethereum Classic? That is an interesting statement. I think if you talk to the people on Ethereum, they would probably be a little offended by that, but they'd understand the statement. So Ethereum Classic basically was one faction of Ethereum, and the other faction was what now is Ethereum. The majority of people on Ethereum wanted to change, wanted to make some changes. I don't even know what all the changes were. And Ethereum Classic said, no, we believe that we want to keep things the way that they were. And so you had a fork between the two factions, and that's what basically made up Ethereum Classic and Ethereum. But the function and everything else that is Ethereum, all the positives went with Ethereum. Ethereum Classic kind of left with, yeah, we have the coin, but now what are we going to do with it? And there really hasn't been much function. Remember, Ethereum is a function coin. It serves a purpose. It's a marketplace for DeFi, for smart contracts, all that kind of stuff. And Ethereum Classic is too, but who's writing on it? You know, I don't hear of anybody using Ethereum Classic. There may be, but all you hear about is Ethereum. So hence the reason why you've seen the success of Ethereum and not the total success of Ethereum Classic. Let's see. Big Willie, I could have bought a 3070 Ti for retail at Micro Center tonight. My bank account was like, you crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. 3070 Ti, assuming that was a, assuming it was an EVGA, so it would have been like $830, I think, is what it would have been. If we do the math on that, basically it's making a little over $3 a day. So at $3 a day, it actually makes about $100 a month currently, a 3070 Ti, because it hashes at about 61, 62. That's what I have mine at right now. And so if you get, like I said, about $100 a month and you buy it for, with tax, let's just call it 900, it's 9 months. So yes, you will not completely break even on that in the next 6 months, but you will have paid for 600 out of that 900. And when not the bear market, but when the ice age hits, where the merge comes into play, will you be able to sell that card for $300? That's the real question. The other thing I'm looking at also is, yeah, would I have bought that? Probably would have. Again, if my price is right, we're at $830, assuming it was the EVGA one. If it was any of the other ones, no, they're way overpriced. Some of them are priced at almost $1,000 for a 3070 Ti. That's crazy. In my mind anyway. So, but you would have paid off 600 of the 900 of that. Could you sell it for $300 when the merge comes? That's the question. Could you? You probably could, actually. I think you're going to start seeing where cards are going to be able to be sold at no less than half their retail value, half their current retail value. So a 3080, I mean, most 3080s are $1,000 more at this point. So I think 3080s will sell for at least $500 when the merge comes, because there's still going to be the same supply chain problems. So I still think you'll be able to sell it for at least 50%. So anyway, just interesting. That's just my thought on it. Hey, Jay Myers, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Yeah, actually, I should do a little roll call. I did not do a roll call. Shame on me. So Mastermind, thanks for coming. Bear Jew, Big Wooly, Blue Gnome, John Germain. I did call out a few people who were calling me father. Kyle Rosa, thank you for showing up. Some Goblin Loser, Pro Rival, Crypto Duck. I'm kind of scrolling down. Tains, thanks for coming. Tim, I Am Crypto. Interesting name. So yeah, thanks for coming. Midwest Miner. Hillbilly Change XD. Pappy. You guys, I'm guessing that Baldini put you up to all this, calling me father and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, TechShinji, thanks for coming. Gallo, thanks for the questions. Appreciate it. I think I've hit most people. Oh, how could I forget? Pocket Change. I know I saw you down here somewhere. And Jay Myers, Danny Dennis. Anyway, thanks everybody for showing up. I appreciate it very, very much. All right, let me see if I missed anything. People, again, tag me if you've got questions. It was an Asus TUF for $949. Ouch. Well, I do love the Asus TUF, They are my favorite cards. I feel like they mine just as well as a Strix. Cool, just as well as a Strix. Doesn't have all the same flashy RGB that a Strix has, but man, I just love that card. It just hashes. I've got a bunch of them, and at any rate, love that card. Absolutely love that card. But would I buy it for $949? Heck no, not a chance. That's at least $100 overpriced. Let's see here. Thanks, Pocket Change, for they're my decorations. I put them all up. If you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. My wife obviously decorated the house. She does such a great job around Christmas. We call them our winter decorations. We enjoy our winter decorations. That is our winter tree. So anyway, we definitely enjoy our decorations. So thanks. I appreciate it. Let's see. Again, tag me if you have a comment towards me. Oh, no problem, Gallo. Always happy to stream. Trying to keep them a little bit shorter and a little bit more focused than what I've done in the past. But yeah, Deepran, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. What did 56 say? I've been listening all quiet, like lurking. Yeah. Hey, Baldini, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Yeah, to me, there's no other card better than the Tough. It just stays incredibly cool. You know, obviously as cool as a Strix, but you don't have to pay the premium of a Strix. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, thanks. Yeah, she's on number 5 out of 6 for her chemo that she had today. And so we only got one more left. Should be January 3rd, and then she will be done with her chemo. So for those that don't know, my wife had ovarian cancer, had surgery in August. I'll be actually a little bit later sharing her YouTube channel. She's been sharing her journey through chemo, but more specifically with a cold cap called DigniCap that has allowed her to keep about 50% of her hair. So if you know of anybody that is facing cancer and chemo and would like to keep their hair, it is something to look into. And my wife's sharing her results, which have been good. I mean, you don't save all your hair. It's still, a bunch of it still falls out, but it looks more like somebody who just had alopecia, had some of their hair fall out, as opposed to just being completely bald. With her chemo for ovarian cancer, she would have been completely bald by the second chemo, and she still has her hair. So anyway, I'll share her link a little bit later. So it is not an RGB tree. No, it is not an RGB tree. It actually are LEDs technically. And like I said, I call it the gamer tree just because it has a bunch of different flash sequences and such. And you can do white or colored on the tree. Yeah, I don't know if anybody managed to grab any. I never even saw any of them out in the wild, the RTX 2060 12 gigabytes. So I think they were so few and far between, which is why NVIDIA was relatively tight-lipped about it. None of the AIB said anything about it. I think that has a lot to do with it. She is awesome, Pocket Change. I don't think you're any slouch yourself. But yes, I definitely won the lottery in selecting her, and thankfully she also selected me. So we'll be married 30 years next summer. So definitely looking forward to celebrating that. So Stephen, that's not a bad point. Would you be better off taking the money that you'd be putting into a GPU and just investing it in crypto? So certainly an argument can be made for that. Again, there's a lot of different strategies in this market. And that certainly is one of them. And I certainly wouldn't argue that that's a bad strategy and that you won't end up ahead of those of us that might be buying a GPU. So yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that line of thinking. Not at all. All right. Jacob asks me, do you have any 5700 XTs? How many-ish years? Oh, how many-ish years do you think they will hold up for? I'm acquiring parts to build out a 12 GPU 5700 XT rig. So I do have 6 5700 XTs. They were actually my first rig. So, here is the problem with AMD, and there's a bunch of people on the stream know exactly what I'm going to say. You are limited in what you can mine. Now, right now, what you can mine are pretty much the biggest things to mine. You have Ethereum, you have Ravencoin, you have Firo, you have Ethereum Classic, and you have ERGO. AMD does pretty well in all of those, but that's it. So anything, and I should also add in Cero. So any ProgPow based algorithm, so KPow, FiroPow, ProgPow, AMD does pretty well, and any ETH hash based, so ETC hash, ETH hash, as well as which I'm drawing a blank on it right now, but the algorithm for ERGO. So all of those they do pretty well on. But beyond that, any Equihash, Kryptonite GPU, all the other types of algorithms they don't do well on. And I've heard people say, well, all we need to do is get some developers to develop better miners for them. Well, that may be, but they've had plenty of time to do it, and it hasn't been done. So it's not like these algorithms just started. They've been around for a long time and there hasn't been any development. So that's my caution with going AMD, is you definitely have to make sure that it's paid off before the merge. So because after the merge, yeah, there's going to be, AMD is going to have much fewer coins to go to. With NVIDIA cards, you're going to have a greater selection of coins to go to. So I would anticipate that NVIDIA cards will be able to be profitable again before AMD cards. That's my suspicion. So anyway, that's my only caution. And honestly, if I'm able to buy more cards, I will sell off the 5700s. Those are ones that I will be replacing. So the first thing I'll be doing is replacing the two 580s I've got. The next one, if I can replace it, would be the 5600 XT. And then the next ones I would be replacing would be my 2 GB 5700 XTs, and then the 4 Sapphire 5700 XTs. So will I be able to replace all those before the merge? Probably not. So I'll probably have some of them left, but that's the plan if I'm able to garner any more cards. Now, with that said, probably the only cards I would replace them with are the NVIDIA FE cards. So either 3060 Ti or 3070. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously it's best laid plans, you know, it just depends on whether or not you're able to buy cards or not. All right, I've definitely seen a lot of tags. So let me back up. So I covered Jacob. How much do you estimate the IRS will demand next year? How much do you estimate the IRS will demand next year? I'm not sure what you mean. The IRS doesn't set tax rates. Congress does. So are you saying as far as, I mean, right now so the IRS already has set out the laws as to how crypto is handled. You know, you are supposed to claim your revenue from your mining. You are supposed to claim trading profits or losses, whichever it comes to. That's all clear. The only thing that the IRS and Congress is trying to do is trying to make it easier for the IRS to track all of that information, especially the trading profits and losses. Just like, you know, if you are selling stocks and you're going through a brokerage, the brokerage reports that information to the IRS. So or at least if they don't report it, if you go to get audited, they have access to that information. So that's the only thing the IRS is trying to do. The IRS is about enforcing the existing tax laws and how best and how easiest for them to do it. So how much will they demand next year as far as information? I don't think they're going to demand any more information from us. They might be demanding more information from exchanges and things like that because Congress has created a law that allows them to do that. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until the laws are done. Thanks, Chump Change. Appreciate it. I like the tree as well. Only thing is, funny thing about buying a bigger tree, going from 7.5 to 9 feet, you need ornaments to cover it. So the wife's been making origami ornaments to help cover the additional space on the tree. Yes, some goblin loser, cancer does suck. No question. Ban chump change. No, I will not be banning chump change, and I will be not be banning pocket change as well. She knows what I mean by that. Anyway. Oh, so you're asking for what is our wedding anniversary? It is July 25th. What is your wedding anniversary? Let's see. So altcoins will have future value. As far as if you're referring to what I was talking about as far as the mining ice age, yeah, I'm not saying that coins won't have value. They will have value. It's the fact of, is the cost of power going to be greater than the profits you will be able to garner from mining those coins? So if you're looking at this and saying, okay, I'm going to be paying $500 a month for whatever hash you have, and that's going to cost me, it's going to cost me $500. Well, if you don't garner at least $500 worth of current value in coins, why are you mining? It doesn't make sense. Take that $500 that you'd be spending in power and invest it. You'll be much better off doing that. Because it's only, if you're only mining $400 worth of value in coin, but you're spending $500 in power, then take that $500 and instead of making $400 mining, spend the $500 and actually have $500 worth of coin. So I don't know if that was the point you were trying to make, but that's kind of how I read that question. Let's see here. So I'm scrolling down. So Jacob, yeah, thanks. It would be mostly paid off by June. If I did, would have a little more time to pay them off, but maybe doable at current prices. Thanks. Yeah. So glad that helped out. What did Big Wooly say? Somebody's saying LOL. What kind of comment did he make? There's too many comments. Thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it. I'm just messing. All right. Well, I can't find his, but anyway. All right. So, here it is. Oh, Big Wooly. Give me those 5700 XDs since you hate them so much. I'll give them the TLC they require. Didn't say I hated them. Didn't say that at all. They have served me well for over a year. They are well paid off, and I enjoy the pure profits that they give me every single day. So no, I don't hate them. I am just simply being practical in the fact that just like a business, you retool to be more efficient. I want to retool to, be able to be more flexible and more efficient. So anyway, but very funny, very, very funny. Okay. ABMS Production, thanks for coming. So while some of us don't have any other choice than buying AMD, we are not all blessed to have GPU manufacturers which value us as customers. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Obviously I got a bunch of GPUs from EVGA through the queue system, and I had to battle with everybody else to get those positions in the queue system. So not given any preferential treatment. Micro Center, I've gotten a number of cards through them. I'm lucky. Now there I am lucky enough to have 2 that are local to me, and I've gotten cards from each location. And then Best Buy drop, definitely got lucky there. My wife is resourceful, shall we say. So anyway, yeah. So I'm not really sure what you meant by that, but yeah, I had to battle to get the cards that I've got. Thoughts on the future of CPU mining? Well, I think we're seeing the same things that have happened with Ethereum mining. The only difference is that Ethereum has gone up in value significantly to match the hash rate increase, while with Raptorium or any of the other CPU mineable coins, we haven't seen that. So if any of the CPU mineable coins go up in value and continue to go up in value, then I think there's a great future for them. Right now, I'm currently mining on the CPU. It isn't anywhere near as profitable as it was before. I definitely got in late in the game, but yeah, it's profitable, and I'm kind of taking a wait and see approach. I'm continuing to mine away. I am still profitable. I'm not burning more energy or paying for more energy than I'm earning. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Oh, okay. So I had to go backwards because I must have skipped over a bunch. Alrighty, let me make sure, because every time it jumps is when that happens. All right. Any percentage in your brain that is, of course, dead on. Any percentage in my brain is, of course, dead on. Now, I wouldn't say that. I like to calculate percentages. Like I said, that 94% was, I was able to calculate that because of all the work that Seb put into making that spreadsheet. All I did was update the numbers. I updated the net hash, or the network hash rate on each coin, and I updated the profitability on each coin. So, oh, so you're in Southeast Asia. Oh, okay. Got it. Understand. Well, hello, Mr. Red Panda. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And he says, can't wait for the bear market. Well, the thing is that what I would love to see is not see the bear market of crypto, but the bear market of mining. That wouldn't be a bad thing, where then you can go ahead and bring on cheap GPUs, but at the same time, we all still are able to benefit from the total value of our crypto. So that I would love to see. We don't necessarily need to see an increase, or a significant increase, but at least if we were able to hold the current values, that would be nice. That would definitely be nice. Yes, please smash that like if you like the content. Definitely appreciate everybody showing up. Let's see who. No, we will not be banning anybody. Well, unless they call for it. But anyway, that's nice, dear. Okay, then. Alrighty, let's see if there's any other tags. Yeah, it's definitely a tough crowd, Red Panda. No question. There's been some good questions here. And Baldini, I still got to watch your video from yesterday. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Let's see here. Danny is asking, Red Panda, hi, did you receive my... Oh, okay, he's just asking about stuff having to do with the giveaway. Yeah, definitely a tough crowd. All right, does anybody... We've been going live for 45 minutes. I had said I was going to try to cut it a little bit short. I'm hoping actually to play some Halo tonight. Finally got it working. For those of you that knew, I was struggling with getting Halo working. Yeah, embarrassed to say, you know, what do you need to do when new games come out? Yeah, you need to upgrade the driver. I thought I had checked that. Evidently, I didn't, because there was an update on December 1st before, or just after, or just before Halo came out, and I hadn't upgraded to it. So yeah, imagine that. Halo's working great now that I have the updated graphics driver. So go figure. All right. See another tag here. Have you still told the story about how you got 3 GPUs in one day? I have told that story a number of times. I'll keep it short since most of the people here, I think, have heard it. But my wife was going down to visit my son in Alabama. And I knew the list of stores. There was an open list that many people had access to that were saying where the actual GPU drops were going to be, because they weren't at all Best Buys. And I had in my mind, I'm like, well, you know what? Huntsville isn't a huge market, and maybe there won't be that many people that go there. So I asked my wife, hey, would you be willing to go there? And she's like, well, yeah, but I got to drop my son at the car repair place. And then I need to drop him off at work, and then I can, or actually he'll drop me off at Best Buy and he'll come back and pick me up, because he had like a quick HR meeting or something, because he was working from his apartment at that point because of the pandemic, because this was earlier this summer. And anyway, so she's dropped off. So she has no access to a car, no access to put anything anywhere. So she gets there after they've handed everything out. And people are already walking in the store. In fact, people are already walking out. So she gets up and says, what do I do? They're like, oh yeah, walk in. There'll still be some in there. So she walks in, asks for a 3060 Ti. She gets one, walks back out. Then she calls me and says, hey, do you want me to get another one? I'm like, sure. Like thinking, I was surprised you got one. She walks back in, gets another one, walks out. At that point, they're not letting anybody in the building until the store opens, but she's got 2 GPUs at that point. So she gets back in line. So she waits, and then she goes in, and she goes up. The guy asks, and again, remember, she has nowhere to put these GPUs. She walks in with 2 GPUs, and the guy says, how many GPUs you got there? And she says 2. And he's like, what are you looking for? 3060 Ti? Okay. Step over there. You can go ahead and purchase over there. The guy behind her walks up and says, and the guy, before he even says anything, the manager there's like, dude, I told you not to come back. You already have 3. Leave. So my wife knew not to get back in line for the 4th at that point, because she's got nowhere to put the GPUs. And at that point, she's pretty rememberable. So that was it at that point. But anyway, that's how she got 3 GPUs. She just happened to walk in to the right situation where it was a smaller market store with a large drop of GPUs similar to a large market. I mean, if you look at Chicago, the Chicago area had one Best Buy store that had a similar drop to Huntsville. That was gone in a moment. Many people didn't get GPUs at that store. So it was definitely not balanced throughout the country as to how many GPUs were received per capita, shall we say. So anyway, Jacob, don't play Halo, play Icarus. I don't know. I wouldn't know the difference between the two of them anyway. I just know there's been some people that have been playing Halo in our group, so thought I would give it a shot. Pro Ravi, you're still downloading? Yeah, it does take a while. I downloaded it one day. I'm like, okay, I won't play today, but I'll get it downloaded and get it set up. So went through the tutorial, so I kind of know what to do. I've never played a first-person shooter game. Right, I've never played a first-person shooter game. Anyway, let's see what else. I hate it when it does that when you scroll down. Okay. Oh, Red Lava Crypto. What happened to the Christmas tree disco lights? Oh, I can change the mode, but that would really play havoc with my camera. The focus would probably go all over the place. Hey, K-Specs, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Supernova. Yeah, it is bright. That tree has 3,000 lights. 3,000 lights. So yeah, definitely has a lot of lights. K-Spec. Oh, the wife is listening, so she is changing the mode while we're going through this. Anyway, K-Spec, he asked, do you use any UPS battery backup? Would you suggest one? I don't use UPS battery backup. Would I suggest one? It depends on your situation. It's not a bad idea. My wife's behind me chuckling as she changes the modes of the tree. Anyway, so yeah, we lose power so rarely here. We literally had a run where we did not lose a power for a full 2 years at all. Not once. Now I just said that out loud, but anyway, but it is rare that we actually lose power. I'm laughing at my wife because she doesn't want to be seen in the background, so she's crawling away. Anyway, she's funny. So anyway, let's see here. Oh, just for my personal machine, not for rigs. I mean, having good, lightning suppression, or, some type of shock suppression for your computer is way more important than, in my opinion, having battery backup. It's very rare that your computer, just by shutting off, is going to have a serious problem. Obviously, if you're doing a BIOS update, I wouldn't suggest you doing that when you have lightning within 15 miles of your home. It's just not a good idea to take the risk. The odds of anything happening are remote, but why take the risk? You find a better time to do a BIOS update. BIOS updates, are going to really screw things up, no question. So that's my opinion. But it's certainly not a bad thing to have a UPS, no question at all. John Z, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Yeah, disco mode. Yeah, no, not a real tree. It's a fake tree. We, for a long time ago, went away from having a real tree. We like to have the tree up for decoration for a long period of time. You just can't do that with a real tree. Incoming seizures in the audience. No question. I told you there's seizure modes on this tree. Anyway, Max, when is Ethereum implementing the merge? He's prompting me because he knows the answer. Right now it's predicted to be June, or possibly end of May, I would think. They're going to try to target a time where it's before. Again, if we look at past history with 1559, there's definite possibility. I think it could get extended until August. They're going to be extremely careful, but will it go much beyond that? I don't think so. They're moving along. They're not expressing any significant problems on all core devs calls or consensus calls. We've come across an issue. We found out how to solve it, and we're implementing it in the next version. That's what you hear all the time. It's not we're stumped, or we're looking for. You're never going to hear we're stumped. You're going to hear, hey, we're looking for help to solve this problem. I'm not hearing that at all. So yeah, I really believe that we're looking at it certainly second quarter, third quarter of 2022. That is my prediction. But again, we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's later. That would be great. Let's see what. Big Wooly. That's how rumors get started. My UPS has a failing battery. Yeah, that doesn't really serve a purpose with a failing battery. That's the other thing. When you're looking at a UPS, any type of battery backup, there's a certain amount of maintenance that needs to happen. So I look at it as like an insurance policy. So if that insurance policy is like super, super expensive, and the chances of anything bad happening is so remote, maybe it's not worth the insurance policy. I know that I have to replace my battery backup battery for my sump pump for my basement about once every 4 or 5 years. I'm okay with that. That would be really expensive to fix everything that would get damaged if my basement was to get flooded. So yeah, that I'm willing to do. With the computer, the UPS, I made the decision not to do it. So anyway, I did not hear about price increases in megawatt hours in Germany. I do know that the market price for power has been higher than normal. I think you've heard me mention before, I have variable rate power prices, which is great in the fact that when things go to the merge and, we're marginal, when we get back to where we're hopefully breaking even, hopefully I'll be able to mine only at night when the cost of power is lowest and be able to make a profit. That's my plan. And I'll be trying to schedule within Hive OS so that I'm mining during those most profitable times. So that's some of the things I'm going to be working on over the next 6 to 8 months to be prepared for that. Am I going to stay at 2 gigahash after the merge? Well, first off, I have to get to 2 gigahash. Currently, I'm at 1.915. So, but who's counting, right? So we shall see. Like I said, I'm hoping to get a few more cards so I can get 2 more cards is all I need. Or one 3080 Ti, but 3080 Ti's are just too expensive. Looking to get either 3060 Ti, 2 3060 Ti's, 2 3070 Ti's, or a combination of a 3070 Ti and a 3060 would also work. So anyway, looking for some combination that would hopefully get me to 2 gigahash. So am I going to stay at 2 gigahash after the merge? Initially, yes, but again, it will probably be off. Or I may only mine at night when the cost of power is, for me, the cost of power would be around 7 cents would probably be my guess, maybe 6 cents per kilowatt hour. So you got to start getting creative in order to mine at a profit at that point. So I'm probably going to keep my GPUs at least for a while until I kind of see how things kind of pan out. I think selling immediately after the merge is a mistake because that's what most people are going to do within the first 3 months. They're going to panic and be like, oh crap, this is unprofitable. I need to get out, especially for those in areas where the cost of electricity is so high. Once we go to the merge, people with high cost electricity, it's going to be forever and a day until they'll be able to be profitable again. It's going to be a long, long time before that. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, won't compare. Yeah, won't complain about my 12 cents. Yeah, I'm at about 11 right now. I was closer to 8 or 9 for a while. Now our cost has gone up, but it's still cheaper than the standard 12.7 that Northern Illinois, all of Northern Illinois is at. So, and again, 12.7 isn't so bad either for that matter. So let's see here. Did you hear about the terahash rigs that went online FlexPool? What do you think is behind it hardware wise? Okay. Yeah, I talked about this at the very beginning. If you're talking about the 4090 Ti's and the RX 7000s, what they basically said, for at least the article that I read, said that the reason why they thought it was, or possibly a 4090 Ti or RX 7000 is because the name of the workers. We can name the workers whatever we want. So I think it was just somebody trying to be funny. It's like somebody naming their Wi-Fi FBI surveillance van. People see it and go, oh yeah, that's funny. Same thing. It's just somebody naming their worker to try to trigger somebody just as a joke. So no, I don't think they could be ASICs. They could just be a large GPU mining farm for that matter. Again, 4.3 terahash. Yes, it's a lot, but yeah, they're on FlexPool now, but where did they come from? They could have been on a China pool and have since moved their hardware to a different country. And then when they brought it back online, they brought it back online and wanted to be funny with a funny name and get people going on what the name of the workers are. So again, would not read too much into that. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. We are going on 1 hour. Oh, that used to be the name of my Wi-Fi, was FBI surveillance fan. We always thought that was funny. We have some other funny ones around us. Won't go into what they are, but there are some other funny ones around us. Some people name it after their family names, and I'm like, well, gee, I know where that one is. But anyway. Alrighty, guys. Well, I will be wrapping it up. I appreciate you guys all for coming. If you have any additional questions, please leave them in the comments, or ask some questions. Tag me over on the Misfit Mining Discord. If you have any questions that you want to direct at me, put it in the general or put it in PC Gamer. You know, a couple different places, but as long as you tag me, I do read all Discord messages that I am tagged in. So, alrighty, guys, thanks again. Appreciate it. If you do like this kind of content, please click the like button on the way out and click subscribe if you like this. And don't forget to hit the bell notification. Again, thanks everybody for coming, and you guys have a great night.